having the same issue with my phone. Who knew? What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Byron? All right, let's get this stuff set up. Oh, we got people rolling in. We do. Can you say good morning? Let's see if I can turn this. You say good morning. Good job, Byron. Good morning, Caitlin. Good morning, folks. We're just gonna let folks kind of come on in as they are. And I can tell you guys a little story before we get going about this of some barred owls. So I have them in my backyard, and I'm super excited because I've been hearing them call. And the other night, not last night with all the snow and rain, but the night before, they were doing the caterwauling back and forth, and in between them, you could hear wood frogs and loons and the occasional sheep, because I have a sheep farm. Good morning, Michael. Hi, Caitlin. Nice to see you too. Good morning, Beth. Hi, Joe out of Londonderry. Wonderful. You're back in my state. Good morning, Carolyn. Hi, guys. How's everything going? So welcome to Facebook Live with the Center for Wildlife. Today we have Byron, who is our barred owl ambassador. So we're pretty excited to have him. I've known Byron for a very long time. And he's a good stellar dude. So Byron, and I'll probably repeat this later on, but that's okay. Byron came to us in 2007 after he was hit by a vehicle. Unfortunately, it's a very common injury in our barred owls. These guys don't weigh very much, so when we get snow here in the east, sometimes they have a hard time hunting. Good morning, Kim. Say hi to Ron for us, please. So these guys will often hunt in the roads. Let me see. He's being shy. Hi, Kathy from Rhode Island. My dad's in Rhode Island. Very cool. Are you being shy, Byron? So they will start hunting out in the roads just because it is easier for them. They don't have to break through the snow. Right, Mr. Byron? So he is a barred owl, B-A-R-R-E-D. I'm going to turn just because he's being shy. Here, mister, they didn't come to see me. They came to see you. And they're named barred owls, B-A-R-R-E-D, for their coloration on their feathers. So you see that beautiful barring right there. They are not barn owls, B-A-R-N, although barn owls are incredibly cool. I don't know if any of you have been able to tune in to Jane Kelly on the wing, but she has a baby barn owl who's magnificent. Hi, Dan from Elliott. Hi, Kayla. Jack and Tommy, nice to see you. Good morning, Becky. Welcome. Guys, it's Friday. We made it through another week. Good morning, Cher. Oh, very cool. You're taking the rehabilitation course. That's excellent. I'm so pleased. We definitely need to keep up with our rehabilitation courses and everything like that. So the more the merrier, and we're very happy that you're able to join us. Let me see if I can turn him. We can still show your beautiful back. So if you see that beautiful barring again, all along in here, that is where they get that name, the barred owl. Huh, Mr. Man? So lots of times folks will ask us, how big they are, how strong they are, all of those things. These guys are really tricky because they are actually only about a pound. So if I take my finger and I go in like this, and Byron's being very good and understanding. Thanks, bud. Oh, there you are. So there's that much feather on his body before I reach him. And it's just crazy that he's that big. Oh, Charlie Breen, hello from the Birdwatchers of New Hampshire. Thank you for doing this. You guys are magnificent. I love your page, and I love the Maine Birds page too. They're really, especially in this time, because I'm not really good with bird calls, so I'm able to have you guys help me with those. Hi, Sam. We miss you very, very much. Byron says hello. So as you can see, Mr. Byron here is an ambassador. A normal wild barred owl would not allow you to have them on the glove like this or be able to handle them like this. But we've worked with Byron and he was able. Our favorite things. Ooh, our connection is wonky. I'm inside and our connection is wonky. Welcome to Maine. One of the most beautiful things that we know about Byron is that he lived with Bianca, who was our long-term barred owl ambassador, and she lived with us for over 23 years. And her and Byron were very much a mated pair or a bonded pair. We lost Bianca a few years ago, and it took us a while to find the right ambassador or female barred owl for Byron. But we found Fern, and he's a protector. He will get in the way of you and whoever his lady friend is. Hi, Ryan, we miss you. And so when Fern came to us, she was also struck by a vehicle. She was able to really sort of become a really wonderful companion for Byron, which is important because they are very social and they definitely spend time with each other. I'm going to see if I can turn this around. Byron, everyone wants to see your, oh, not my face. They want to see your beautiful hat off. There we go. So you can see these beautiful, beautiful facial discs right here, and if Byron might allow me to, I'm going to see if I can show you his ear. Occasionally he lets me. If he doesn't want me to, he'll clack his beak. So where his ears are actually right behind here. Byron, can I show? Oh, you're so good. I'll give you a little nibble. Nope, okay, I will take that as the hint. So I couldn't get the flap open, but right here is where this flap is. Their ears, hi Ruben, who's 6, their ears are actually about this big. And when you're able to look back there, you can actually see the back of their eyeball, which is really fascinating if you think about it. So these guys, their eyes take up about 1/3 of their skull. Can I turn you again so folks can see you? Yeah, I just want to be able to turn so you can be seen because you're so good looking. Yeah. So you can see their eyes take up a very substantial amount of their face. They just showed you his 3rd nictitating membrane. What's really, really, oh, wonderful. Hi, Michael. We miss you too, Mr. Boardman. If you guys ever want to go check out some beautiful artwork, definitely go check out Michael Boardman. He has done t-shirts and beautiful, magnificent artwork for folks around, and he really captures their sort of who they are, I guess you could say, their spirit, not just who they are. Let's see. So, back to the eyes. I get easily distracted. Sorry about that. So if I can, I'm going to turn his face just the littlest bit so we can see. You see those beautiful eyes, little head scratch for him. Occasionally he likes that. So those eyes, if we had eyes the size of our owls, Byron, are you ready? They would be this big. Can you imagine? He says, you look crazy. So our eyes would be this big. Good morning. Wow, all the way from South Carolina. Good morning, Michael. Our eyes would be this big if we had eyes the size of our barred owls. So each one of our eyes would be about the size of a grapefruit. So the next time you're in the grocery store or having breakfast, pick up that grapefruit and contemplate having that rolling around in your head. What's kind of amazing with our owls, though, is that they've adapted their eyesight so that they don't have eyeballs really anymore. They have eye rods, so they're longer, and that's because they need the rods and cones to see at night. And so if I hold this up, Mr. Byron, I'm just going to move this up to you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to hold this up so folks can see. So you see where that beak is, and then right behind you see that bony sort of section. That's what's called a sclerotic ring. And so the eye sits in that sclerotic ring. What that means is that their eyes are actually set in bone and they cannot move their eyes. Whoa, good morning, Sharon from New Jersey. Hi, Amanda. How are you? We miss you. Christopher and Diana. Hi from Ohio. Wow. I have driven through Ohio and it is beautiful out there. We really like it. And they have barred owls in Ohio, don't they, Mr. Man? Yes, yes. Thank you all for joining us. So one of the things we were just talking about is this beautiful sclerotic ring that is in the eye. that holds the eye. We'll do it like that. That's a good setup. So you can see there's sort of a bony plate, or a calcium-filled plate. Hi, Amanda. What that means is that he can't move his eyes. So he can't move them up, down, left, right, nothing like that. If you hold your head still, hold your chin, and you have to look up, you have to move your eyeballs, right? So these guys are unable to move their eyeballs because their eyes have adapted to being those beautiful long eye rods. It helps them to see into the UV spectrum. It helps them to see at night. It helps them to see longer distances. It helps them to see those teeny tiny mice and things that they're hunting. So unfortunately, they can't move their eyes, but because Mother Nature is brilliant, hello Bromley, he is a gorgeous fellow, I would agree with that, is that this beautiful head right here is sitting on a neck that is twice as long as our neck. So they have 14 vertebrae in their necks as opposed to 7 like we have. And actually, even giraffes have 7 vertebrae. So if you think about the size of a giraffe's vertebrae, it's kind of mind-boggling. So because of that longer neck and the more vertebrae in their neck, they are able to turn their heads further than we can. So we can usually turn our heads about a quarter of the way around, right? We can go from the front. If we're facing front, we can turn towards the side. Oops, sorry about my hand in the way. To the side, so we do about a quarter. These guys can go actually 3/4 of the way around, which is pretty impressive. But it also makes sense that they can do that because they have to be able to do that to see their prey and see if something else is hunting them, because other things do hunt these guys. Hi, Kristen Brewster. Byron says hello. What are you doing, sir? Can I show them your feet? Let's see. Let's move this right down here. I don't know if you can see his foot. He's holding it a little bit funny. He's being kind of a goofball this morning, but that's okay. I think I woke him up. So you can see that beautiful foot right there. A lot of times people don't realize that they are that they are feathered on their feet. Brendan wants to know, are they cannibals? Brendan, I hate to burst your bubble, but yes, they are. So they've done studies over and over. Hi, Kesh. Hi, Robin from Elwood. Oh, down in Old Orchard Beach. They've done studies for these guys, as well as snowies and great horns and things like that. Hi, Lizzie Ferris. And they will actually cannibalize. So they will eat their own species, but they'll also eat other species of owls. So our larger owls, like our great horns, they'll eat pretty much anything they want. And sometimes that includes other owls and things like that. So a great way to sort of look at that is if we were just talking about the feet. I'm going to put these feet right here. So our smallest owl that we have in the area is a northern saw-whet owl. You guys met Artemis yesterday, perhaps? Hello, Abby and Nana. I'm so glad that you're enjoying Byron. Oh, big love, Miss Lizzie, big love. So here's this teeny tiny foot, right? So cute. Artemis weighs about the size of a small lime, or a small can of spice and things like that. Cat Tucker, can we see his legs? I will try. It's up to Byron if he wants to show his legs or not, but we'll see. So the next size up is this little foot right here, and this is actually a barred owl foot. So if he doesn't want to show you his legs, here's what his legs look like about up to here. This is actually right around his ankle. So they do have pretty long legs, which is probably why Kat is asking. Remember that their hips are way up here. Byron, can I show? Way up here. And so you have a leg that goes down and down. So one thing I know he will let me show is his fabulous pantaloons. I don't know if you can see these. Let me see if I can get him up closer. Look at these fabulous pantaloons and these gorgeous feathers. And then if I lift those up, there's some leg, Byron. Are we showing some leg? Let's see. Byron is very patient and very understanding. We worked with him a lot so that folks are able to see. There's a good shot of your leg, my friend. Just how much feather is in there. Here's his pantaloons. Very fancy, very fancy. And then his hip starts up here, femur goes that way, and then you have your lower leg down here. So these guys do have those nice long legs. They're very strong, they're very powerful. But you have to remember that it's not like them going into the grocery store where they can just go ahead and, pick up a chicken wing or a pack of hot dogs or organic buffalo white. That's not what you're going to eat. These guys have to get their own food, and oftentimes they miss. Again, they are only 1.5 pounds. If I hold up these 2 feet, you can see the difference between a great horned owl on the bottom and a barred owl on the top. So you can see those beautiful strong talons, and they definitely do hunt each other. The bards will not hunt the great horns, obviously, because they're smaller. Kathy is wondering, do they molt? They do molt. Byron actually needs to molt, huh, bud? Are we missing a couple tail feathers? So when our guys come into us as patients, sometimes we figure out that they're non-releasable due to their injuries. Byron came to us after he was hit by a car, and so he has limited flight, which means he can get around a little bit, but then he usually starts to fall. So one thing that we have to accommodate our ambassadors with is that we're constantly watching them to see if something is changing, because just losing 1 or 2 feathers can really alter how they're getting around. So what we've noticed with Byron is that he's getting older, and instead of hopping around to places and launching and jumping and things like that, we're thinking that we're going to be putting in some ramps for him and sort of adapting and changing his enclosure for him. So that he is able to get around a little easier and just able to take it easy. He is missing a couple of his tail feathers, but yes, he definitely goes through a molt. Usually the feathers right around his face. I don't know if I can get in there. Byron, you're such a good boy. You can see those beautiful facial disc feathers and things like that. See, I don't know if any of you tuned in with Lucy. Lucy would be attacking the camera right now, and Byron is just so mellow. He just doesn't mind at all. He's so sweet. So he will molt those feathers. He'll lose feathers, and then he'll grow new ones in. Let's see. Kat Tucker, my dad brings animals there. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Kat. And Kristen, hello from Old Orchard Beach. Absolutely awesome. We love that you guys are tuning in. We really appreciate it. I totally forgot to put a donation tab on this one because I was busy talking with Byron. But if you guys are able to click on our website, www.thecenterforwildlife.org, and drop in a donation there, that would be so helpful, because really everyone's just struggling right now, and we're trying to make sure that everyone is able to be taken care of. Right? He is so patient, says Joanne. Absolutely. Kesh, how long have I known Byron? Wow, let's see. So Byron came to us in 2007, and it's now 2020, so about that long. 13 years, huh, Mr. Man? And then, yeah, he's just a magnificent man. One of the things I read is that one of the oldest known barred owls on record live to be around 23 or 24. Many times in captivity, they will live longer. And so Byron may live a much longer life. He was an adult when he came in, so we don't know exactly how old he is. However, Bianca, who lived with us, came to us in 1997 and lived with us for over 23 years. So we are hoping to have a beautiful long time with Mr. Byron here. My man, you're so good looking. Absolutely. So oftentimes people will ask us if owls are able to fly silently, and yes, they are. So if you look at Byron's wings and feathers, I'm sure that you can see they're very downy. They're very soft, and all the way down to his feet, which also have feathers on them. Can I readjust you? You look a little... No, you're fine. It's just me looking uncomfortable. I'm going to use the little saw-whet owl wing to show you one of the ways that they fly silently. Let me see if I can get it up there. Can you focus on that camera? Maybe not. Maybe I'll pull it back here. If you look up here, this is called the fluted edge of the wing. See how it's sort of like a comb on the edge right there? Let me see if I can turn it, and that'll show it. So all of our owls have that, and this leading edge of their wing breaks up the turbulence and helps to reduce the sound as they go through. And then they also will collect all that turbulence in these downy feathers. Sorry, Mr. Man. Yeah, you want to rearrange? You can rearrange. There you go. Got it? Well, can we push this wing up? There you go. Nice job. Thank you. So that helps them to fly silently, which is really incredible. Cher was wondering what the pantaloon feathers are used for. I'm not sure of the correct spelling of pantaloon either. That's why I use Google Spell. But these pantaloons, really, they're for protection of their legs. They're for insulation. They're also part of that gathering of the sound when they're flying, so it helps to decrease their sound so that they can be silent, which is really cool. Heather was wondering how long they can live for. The oldest one that we know of on record that lived out in the wild was in their 20s. So we're hoping to have Byron for at least that long. Let's see. Do you ever sell the molted tail feathers? Hi, Joanne. That is a great question. We do not sell the feathers for numerous reasons. One, you have to have federal permits even to possess feathers. So when our ambassadors molt, we actually hold on to them. If we hold on to them at all, we hold on to them in a jar so that folks can see them and look at them without taking them home or anything like that. However, it is illegal to possess feathers of any migratory bird, and that does include owls. Sometimes people get a little upset by that, which I can certainly understand, except that I also understand why the Federal Migratory Bird Act is such a great law. There's no way if you find, an eagle feather or even a loon feather or something like that, if you find that in a field and, someone comes along and says, hey, where'd you get that feather? You say, well, I found it in a field. But there's no way of proving that you did that as opposed to shooting the bird or things like that. I don't know if folks understand why the Federal Migratory Bird Act was enacted. It used to be that they had birds on their hats, sort of like Gucci or wherever, fancy fashion that you have. And it got to a point where snowy egret feathers actually were valued more than gold. So unfortunately, because of that, we almost wiped out snowy egrets and a whole bunch of other birds. So they passed the Federal Migratory Bird Act to make sure that it's sort of what we call a blanket law, but it does make it better for them. And sometimes we can't all have what we want sometimes, so you need to leave those feathers where they are. But if you do find a feather, just look at it as a wonderful gift to be able to look at. Charlie, have you seen a noticeable reduction in owls suffering from car strikes with the coronavirus keeping folks home? We have seemed to see a lower car strike intake reason for right now, but that's difficult to tell because it could also be a whole fluctuation of things. They're breeding and nesting right now, so maybe they're not by the roads. We don't have the snow, so they're not necessarily in the roads, hunting, because they can hunt down by the vernal pools and things like that. So I wouldn't say that it's because of the coronavirus per se, but I would say that it's probably a nice little break for the wildlife to have their roads back. Hi, Jackie. Hi, David. Yes, barred owls are territorial. You will hear them chatting a lot more than anything else. And if you're near their nest or near their babies, they will definitely be wonderful protective parents. Lynn was wondering if we have ever had a pair have owlets. We have not. So our guys, I don't know if you've seen the story of the pandas at the zoo that finally bred. They've been trying to breed these pandas for 10 years or something. And I won't remember where the zoo is. And who knew, now that the zoo's closed, the pandas bred. So we are not a breeding facility. We do put them together as far as long-term companions, but we are not trying to breed them. So we have never had them have a baby. However, they are both, they're phenomenal ambassador animals as well as foster parents. So these guys have raised, Byron and Bianca raised over 50 baby barred owls together, and that gives them the chance to get back out into the wild. Kesh, where do they migrate to? They don't really migrate. They pretty much stick around. They disperse, so they don't share the same habitat, but they don't really migrate. And let's see, Abby from Greenland, New Hampshire, wonderful, absolutely great. And I used to live in Greenland. It's a great area. I actually used to have a bunch of barred owls in my backyard. So in Greenland, you guys have that great wetland area, the great bog, and that sort of spot. And so you will have a ton of barred owls over there. I don't know where in Greenland you are, but if you're over by the train tracks, if you walk the train tracks, a lot of times you'll see them swooping down on the train tracks as well. Hi, Donna Marie. Love to see you. David, yes, they are absolutely amazing. There's something really special about these guys and their eyes and just how beautiful they are. They have that really beautiful dark chocolate eye that really lets them sort of look into your soul, if you will. But yeah, we love that you guys are all tuning in, and I hope that you guys are enjoying your Friday. Oh, wonderful. Patty up at Wild Birds Unlimited. Thank you. In Woburn. Excellent. I think I said that right, Woburn. We love Wild Birds Unlimited. We have multiple different Wild Birds Unlimited that support us and donate to us, and also that we're hoping to do some programming with as we come out of this whatever we're in right now, coronavirus thing. Do they blink eyes separately, says Maureen. They absolutely can and do. Let me rearrange this so I can show you a little closer. So they have actually 3 eyelids. They have the top eyelid, the bottom eyelid, and then what's called the nictitating membrane, which is the 3rd eyelid. So not only can they blink separately, but they also are able to, oops, sorry, Byron, I lost you. They're also able to, they have binocular vision, so they can adjust their sight with each eye. Let's see, from Newbury, New Hampshire. Oh, awesome. And you get to see the babies, David. That's fantastic. Hi, Brendan. Donna's wondering what Byron's food is. Hi, Karen. Hi, Joe. We really miss you, Joe. I can't wait for you to come back. I was talking to, who was I talking to? Bertram, the Raven, about you today when I went out to say hi to him. Oh, yes, Joe, we miss you terribly. We can't wait to see you back here again. And Karen, you too, and hi to Jesse. Donna's wondering what his favorite food is. His favorite food is mice. He is a gentleman, though, and he allows for Fern to eat his food. So we're actually giving him a weight check today to make sure that he's getting enough food. Oh, hi from Florida. We hope to see you again soon. Becky, what does he see when he's looking at me? I don't know. What do you see, Byron? I think he just sees this silly human that keeps coming around and feeding him and that sort of thing. They tolerate us, but I definitely don't think that we're their favorites or anything like that, although he's very mellow and relaxed right now. I think he also sees different colors, different shapes. He can see into the UV spectrum, so perhaps he's going to see something very different than, what I might think that he was. Let's see. Becky Klein. Oh, watching in the Berkshires. He's so handsome. Who's the little cutie in your window? So Joe, who I just said hi to, is one of our volunteers, and he's a magnificent photographer. And one of the things that he has done for us is he has printed off life-size versions of some of our ambassadors. And so this little cutie is Artemis, and that's a life-size photograph of Artemis, who is our northern saw-whet owl ambassador. If you're interested in learning more about her, you can click on the video, I believe from yesterday. I believe Artemis was the one who was interviewed yesterday, and she's now retired. She's an older lady, but she is absolutely spectacular. Huh, Mr. Byron? What do you think? So again, for those of you that are tuning in a little bit later, in Cape Nettic, Maine, he is a barred owl, and he came to us in 2007, so he's at least 13, and he's just rather magnificent. Let's see, Charlie Breen, does their behavior posture change when indoors versus outdoor behavior at all? Yes. Absolutely. We especially see this with Fern. Fern is our female barred owl, and she was struck by a vehicle and has some pretty severe head trauma. So when she's inside, she sort of just relaxes and does her thing and is very mellow. But the minute we take her outside, she sort of lights up. Byron's more reserved and just sort of does his own thing. And so not much affects him or changes his behavior. Although when we do take him outside, he will occasionally fluff up and kind of check everything out. Byron, they're telling you that your hands so too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll try and get this down here again because I think I might have a good spot to show you guys his pantaloons. Oops. No, because that's going to move. Well, let's try it this way. It says we're having a low network connection. I have no idea why because I haven't moved, but that's okay. It's because we live in Maine. So again, these are his pantaloons. You can see just how long those feathers are off my hands. And they're just absolutely magnificent. So it's really a built-in winter jacket. It's also insulation in the summertime when he wants to be cooled down. One of my favorite feathers are these feathers right here. Let me see if he'll let me get a little bit closer on those. Can I get up close? Thank you, Byron. I appreciate that. You can just see those beautiful facial discs and all those teeny tiny feathers and just absolute gorgeousness, in my opinion. I mean, they are, you are inspiring, my friend. You are an inspiring young man. Yes, sir. Oh, I just love you. Michael Heinbach is watching. Hi, Michael Heinbach. Byron, Michael, and I went to high school together. He's a pretty stellar dude. What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Byron? So yeah, Byron lives with us. He is available for adoption through our Adopt an Ambassador program, which is really, really lovely. It's $25 and you can sponsor them for a year. You get a card that's sent out, which is really sort of lovely in this day and age of a little bit of snail mail love going over there. And you get their natural history, their personal history, and then eventually, when we're all out of quarantine, you guys can come up and visit the ambassador that you have adopted. So you just have to go onto our website to look at that. Byron, I haven't done your call, my friend. Should we do your call? Byron's never impressed with my calls when I do them, but that's okay. So these guys are well known for doing the Who Cooks For You, Who Cooks For You All call, and they'll go, ooh, 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 ooh. I got a double blink, so that was decent. Sometimes people will ask us, well, how do you get that last part? You just open your mouth a little bit, so you do the ooh, 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 ooh. Right? And then they also do a caterwauling. And when they caterwaul, they sound like monkeys. We live in Maine, New Hampshire area, so we don't have monkeys in this area. However, they definitely can make that noise. So they will go, ooh, 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 and all kinds of other crazy, crazy calls. Right, mister? The barred owls are some of the easiest ones for you to be able to call in. Not because you're doing a great call and they think you're a real barred owl, but mainly because they're just amused with what's going on and who's making this crazy, crazy noise. Right, mister? You're so good looking. Excellent. So we actually have baby squirrels, and I am getting ready to go and feed them in just a little bit. So we will say goodbye for today. Tomorrow we will be tuning in again, huh, Mr. Byron? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. We hope that you guys are all doing well, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully tomorrow. All right? Thank you, guys. If you want to learn more about Byron, just go and check out our website at www.thecenterforwildlife.org. Happy Friday, everybody.